Okay, I'm going to talk about a local guides technique that I haven't taught anywhere else. In fact, this is a bonus video that is going to go away very soon. So I'm just giving you guys a chance to watch it. And then once everyone, we'll be able to tell from the video views and stuff. But, you know, after we give everybody some time to watch it a few days, take notes on it and stuff, and then it'll probably go away because I really don't want this spread around. But basically, this is the local guides, the most recent stuff that we have. And local guides is a program, we talk about it in other videos in this members area, but it's basically a program that allows you to make live changes to Google Maps, and the changes, depending on the type of change, they can go immediately live on the public map, including adding listings, editing things, all types of stuff. Now, the way local guides works in general is the higher the point level that you have, the more authority your account has. Which you can see down here, each level is listed here with the number of points that you need to reach that level. And they keep changing this, which is another reason why I'll probably take this video down, because I keep having to redo these videos because Google keeps changing the local guides program. But you can see here that they've got level 1 through 10 currently. They used to have only level 1 through 5. They totally revamped their point system and everything. But at the current iteration of the points and the badges, this is how it works. Now, what we have found is once you reach level 5, you are able to add locations to the map and have them auto approve. Okay? Now, there's a couple caveats to that I'm going to explain in a second. We've even had level 4 accounts able to do this type of thing. So you don't necessarily have to always reach level 5, but at level 5, you're able to add locations to the map. Again, these are unverified, though. They're not going to be claimed locations, but they will be locations that will rank if a user is near that location. And that's why it's a powerful technique, because you can put a lot of these out there and just go based on the user's location. So if you've got a good city with a good market and you know it works if you could just get more phone calls, then local guides is a great way to start to pepper your listings throughout that city. And with a low commitment, low investment, and even if each one just gets a few calls per week or per month, over time it really adds up. So your goal is to get to level 5 and up here we have our points levels, what you get. So when you're in the local guides program, you make edits to the map, and those edits each give you points. And you can see here how many points each edit will give you, each type of change will give you. Now, the one key here, in order to add listings to the map, you can't just have 500 points of any type. You actually need 500 points made up of edits, that made up of additions to the map that are similar to adding a location, that have to do with location data. So in order to be able to add a location, you need to build up your points. You can't just build up your points with like photos or videos. You need to actually add it up with edit type changes. So the way you can build it up is, one, through making edits, and that would be like adding hours to a listing that is missing hours, or correcting listing information that's wrong. You can also get it by adding a place, which is what we're trying to do. This isn't the best way to reach 500 points, because it's going to, when you're under 500 points and you try to add a listing, it's going to go into pending status. And so and it's going to have to be checked by another local guide account. And so you, in general, we don't try to build up our accounts with adding places because it takes too long to get approved. It goes into a queue. Sometimes it can wait a really long time. We want to avoid that. We want auto approval. You can also add points up to 500 points to get your level 5 account by doing fact checks. And this is the way we do it. Now, you normally would not look to check the facts because it seems like such a slow way to do it, right? It's 1 point per fact checked. And this can be, you might look at that and say, well, I might as well just do a higher level thing instead. But the fact is, checking facts is a very quick process. It's when you go in to check the facts, and I'll do it right now. I'll show you what it looks like. Desktop, you go in to check the facts by clicking. You go into maps.google.com, and then you go over here to your contributions, and then you go over here to check the facts, and all these listings here are going to show up that need facts checked. And you can do these very quickly. It takes a second for each. All right. And what I like to do is actually what we have our outsourcers do rather is to check the facts only in certain categories. And because certain categories are a lot easier to check than others. And for instance, verifying status is one that's fairly easy because if you click this little research on Google, you can go in and see on Street View, does it exist? Okay. Illinois Currency Exchange, I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to look at the Street View, and I'm going to see, does it exist? Okay. And if I click in and I don't see it on Street View, I see it right there, Illinois Currency Exchange. So that one's an easy one to verify. It's not permanently closed. I see it on Street View. Hours are difficult to verify, so I'll scroll down to the next one. Phone is difficult to verify. Website is fairly easy to verify. Usually you can tell just by looking at it or just by clicking on it, you can see if it exists. Now here we don't have, it does not seem to exist, so we're going to put no. Let me scroll down. Here's another website. Again, it's going to be fairly easy to... okay, is this the official website? No, this is a Facebook account, so this is not the official website. And then we're going to scroll down. You can see how quickly this... Now you could do verify phone as well, but you have to actually call the number, which is annoying. So I like to do websites. Another one that shows up a lot is verify the category. That one's pretty easy to verify just by eyeballing it. And you can very quickly get 500 here. We actually outsource this, so I teach my outsourcers how to research, and they research the facts that they're checking. Again, I tell them to focus on category, website, stuff like that. That's really easy to verify, screen view, Street View, stuff like that. Now you might say, why even verify it? We could just click down everything and just click yes or no randomly. Why does it matter? The reason why is it seems to affect your points. So even though you might reach 500 points, again, remember our goal is to reach level 5, 500 points. But those 500, in order for you to have the authority to add a listing, you need 500 points of facts that you checked that were actually approved by Google. So if you choose the wrong thing when you're checking the facts in that other screen, and it all starts to add up, Google will see this person actually is not very accurate. Because Google actually has high-level reviewers, some are voluntary, some are paid, that'll go through, and all these things that you're checking are going to actually be probably looked at by some type of a reviewer that Google trusts more than you. There might be a higher level local guide. It might be a paid employee like in India or something like that. But it's going to be verified and eventually will go live or it won't go live. And if when you click check the facts, you were correct, then your 500 points are going to have the value and the authority that you want to add a new listing. So you have to actually check the facts like correctly. So that's why we picked the easiest stuff. Category is really easy to eyeball because you can automatically tell, is this the correct category for a business or not? And then over time, you will start to get a really powerful account. So that's the first ingredient to being able to add listings with auto approval. Okay, so the first ingredient is get yourself a level 5, and the second ingredient, I'm currently showing this to you on my desktop, and so Google is showing me check the facts in Chicago because that's where Google considers that I am. But the most powerful way to build up your account with check the facts is to actually do it on a mobile device. And on that mobile device, you want to install this fake GPS emulator. And we've tested a lot of different emulators. This is the one you want to install on your mobile device on an Android. This is for an Android, not for an Apple device. So you'll have to, if you don't have an Android device, you'll have to get a different GPS emulator. But again, the main goal, you'll know if it works because you're going to download this emulator, and the instructions are here when you download this thing. This is on the resources page. When you download this thing and put it on your phone and you run it, it's going to give you instructions for how to use it. But basically what you want to do is you need to center all of your check the facts around and in the city where you want to eventually add your locations. So the two things, you need a level 5, and you need to be in the geographic area of the map that you're trying to add locations in. So basically, if you, and we've seen it work in like a tri-state area, so like the state you're targeting plus the two states kind of closest to it, it can work in all those states. But if you try to go completely across to a different state on the other side of the country, or province on the other side of the country, you'll have to have a different local guides account for that. So this is geographically focused. But what you're going to do is you want to install this GPS emulator and then put the GPS in the city, in like the big city that you're targeting, and then go back to here and do your check the facts there. So once you run your GPS, if it's working properly, that GPS emulator on this map will show up automatically, and it'll be around the GPS location of the app that you told the app to put you in. Then you're going to reach your 500 points. You can do it with check the facts. You can do it with some of the other stuff too, but we found check the facts to be the best. Then you might need to wait a little bit because all those check the facts need to be approved. It doesn't take too long though. Sometimes it's only like a week, maybe 2. And then you've got a powerful local guides account that you can use in that tri-state area to do all types of stuff. Now you want to make sure that anytime you go onto maps that to do this activity that you've got the GPS thing working, because Google will track where you are. They track everywhere that you are. So you want to run that GPS emulator whenever you're doing this check the facts type stuff. So once you've reached your level, you can do some of this other stuff too, but again, the edits, place addeds and fact checks. Those are the three things that you're going to need to the three things that you're going to need most to be able to actually add locations to the map. Okay, now fast forward, and let's say you've reached level 5. Okay, now again, you can outsource this. Outsourcers can do this really quickly. They can even be in another country as long as they're running that GPS emulator on their phone. We even have them just use their own phone. They just log into a different Google account on the same phone, the different Google account from the one that they had before, and they can actually, on their phone, they can all day long be like, say, in the Philippines or whatever, and then once they do the check the facts stuff, they switch to the other Google account on their phone, they start that GPS emulator, and they go to town. So it doesn't even have to be in the country that you're in to build up this account like this. Now, once you've done that, let's fast forward, and now you've got your 500 points. Here's the key to adding a location. The first thing that's important is you have to use this GPS emulator to go to the precise point of the location that you want to add. And you can actually type the address directly into the GPS emulator, and it will give you a GPS location, and it will take you directly to that exact GPS point. It's very important before you add the location that your GPS on your phone says that you are right there on that exact spot. And if you don't know, or if there's for some reason you have trouble finding the GPS point, you can also just search in Google and find like a GPS coordinates tool like this one. They're all over the place. They basically let you type in an address and it'll convert it to latitude, longitude. That way you can put those latitude, longitude in. But either way that you do it, you have to be on, your GPS has to say that you're on that exact point. And the way you can confirm that is you just open up Google Maps, and it should take you directly to where Google Maps thinks you are, and that should be the exact point where you want to add the location. Then, and you click on that little menu. It's just the same menu like I showed. It's the same menu that I showed you on the desktop earlier, where you click on the menu bar, and this little menu will come down. It's where you can add, traffic and all this stuff in your Maps app. You click on this little link, add a missing business, and then it's going to let you add all that information to add the new business right there. Now the key is your GPS has to be set in that spot. Also, it has to be in the general area of the where all of your edits were made. So for us, if we dramatically switch, like let's say even if you're going to the next state or one city over, we like to go in and just do 5 or 10 check the facts in that city before we do it. That tends to do the trick. But if you try to go all the way across to like another province, all the way across on the other side of the country, or another state all the way other side of the country, that won't work. It's going to have to be in like a tri-state area. Now, you click add a missing business and you add all that stuff. Make sure your GPS is set to that exact location. And the third thing is you need to go to xifr.net and take a photo. It could be a photo of anything related to the business. It could even be like a screenshot or anything. But you need to use xifr to input the GPS data into the photo before you upload a photo. So again, back to this thing that I showed you earlier, where you can get the GPS data from an address. You want to find this site. Again, it's just maps.ie. It's really easy. There's a lot of sites that give this. It's not a unique site. You want to insert this GPS data into a photo. Again, it could be a screenshot, it could be a photo of a coffee mug, it could be anything. It helps if it's a photo of like a street or something like that. But we even use street view photos and stuff like that, screenshots and stuff. Insert the GPS into the photo, and then You go back to here where you clicked add a missing business. And it's going to look something like this. Here, when you add the business, at the same exact time that you add the business, you want to add the photo that you just added the GPS tags to. Again, it could be a street view, screenshot, it could be a picture of a street, something like that. Again, it doesn't matter if it really verifies the actual location addition. It's just that adding a GPS tagged photo of that area will help the algorithm to say yes to you. That's the goal. And so you want to add that photo at the exact same time. Add your new location. And that's basically it. Again, before I add it, I would go through, we have other videos in this course about picking the right address. Seth goes through in a lot of detail how to do that. You don't just want to pick any old address. You want it to have a good street view, a commercial street view. You want it to be in a commercial area. All those types of requirements just for the picking out the actual address of the business itself. But as long as you follow all that, you should be good to go. Now, if you have any issues with this, you can post a question here and we can answer it. But before you ask any question, make sure you've gone through all the steps that I talked about. And it could be, if you have a real new Local Guides account, it could be that all of your check the facts just haven't run through the approval process yet and they're still waiting to be approved. So sometimes we have our outsourcers just do a large number of check the facts, a lot more than 500, just so that we can make sure to get the 500 that are actually approved that we need. Now, again, you're going to need to do this if you want to do this for another tri-state area that's far away. I would suggest you get a different Google account and build up a different Local Guides account for that geographic area. But once you get rolling on this, it's really easy to do, and you'll see how easy it is to do this. Again, these are going to be unclaimed listings. They're more for broadening your exposure on the map when you've got a good winner and you're getting a lot of calls, a lot of happy customers, and you know that's a hot niche for that city, and you know it's a hot niche